if there's something that like helps people that in my way of helping, this is kind of like a selfish response to, I'm not actually giving value right now, but the way I want to give value is in music and in video. So like documenting the journey is like my way of like giving back, because I know there are going to be a ton of people who want to do what I've done, just like me looking up to Ed Sheeran, looking up to Russ. I'm just a byproduct of them, but realizing the things that they didn't do and just doing it better and doing it my way too. But yes. And also with the music, just tearing myself apart for other people. Like, do you think it's nice to talk about personal relationships in songs, and like when only friends and family are listening to your music at the moment? Do you know how hard that is? Like, people don't understand. Like, it's kind of stupid. Like singing about your dad or mom when like they're going to hear it. Right. It's like, you're not doing it for yourself. I mean, you are in a sense, but
martyr. That the word?
Yeah, in a way. I really, and people think it's cheesy or like you're faking when you say that, but it's true. Like, but at the same time, the only way I'm gonna get success is if I am like completely giving all myself to it. So it's
a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of money, but I'm also tearing myself apart and like quote unquote ruining relationships. But that's not true, because if that ruins a relationship, then so be it. I don't want it to be there anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, it's that whole thing where it's like you can only get to your 50th best video by going through your first. You know, you can only get to that, like that's like the trick. The only way you can get to that goal is to first go through, like, you have to speak about this and this and this, which like is gonna like brush off this and this and this till eventually you hit it, and then it all comes back. Then everyone loves you. You know, that's one of the biggest sacrifices that I try to explain to you guys is like, what's your take on that as far as possibly friends or family or just these things that are kind of like resistance blocks now that, you know, it's not this super, like, it's not super strong. It would be if you made them happy by going to do this or doing this, but in the long term, it just being way fucking worth it. Like, what's your take on that? That's something I deal with a lot.
Yeah, I just see it as like, you're just doing what you're meant to do, or like what's in your heart, and being able to distinguish what's fear and what's not. And like, if it's coming from love, like we always say, then like, you shouldn't be afraid, like, although it can hurt in the short term, but like you said, in the long run, it will be so worth it. Telling your mom how you feel, or telling your brother, like, it's so, like, there's no other way of doing it. I would hate to live a life where you just kind of like, just like tiptoe around everything, and then you turn 40 and you're like, this relationship isn't even real.
Word. Holy shit.
Like, that happens all the time. I just finished writing a song that is directed at my dad, and it's kind of weird to say this, but like, I don't know, like, if I'm able to write the song that's like pure and how I really feel, obviously there is a bit of angst in the song because it's natural that songs have that, then I shouldn't be afraid to put it out. And if he gets upset, then so be it. It's the truth, and I'd want to die pure. That's one of the lyrics in the song. I want to die pure. I don't know where this came from. Like, I just felt the inspiration to.
Oh, that was exactly what I was looking for. It's for you guys. The only way to get through the fire is to walk through the fire. That's it. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You can't, like, you need to purge that. You need to explain this to this to this, and put yourself out there and seemingly embarrass yourself and have you literally have to head on just.
You know. I think what that does is it changes the perspective of doing the risky path, or you know, talking to your dad when it's like, oh, but this could. It's like, there is no other way. It's just changing the perspective of
yes.
Oh, but this could happen. It's like, yeah, but you could die like with all this dirt in you that you didn't clean up. Like, what kind of life is that? You want a fake? Yeah, I've said my piece, but
yeah, exactly. That's it.
Because like some people don't see it like that, and as soon as like you say it, maybe some people will take it, maybe not. But I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
No, it's true. Courage, and just, I don't know. Like, I fucked up the last podcast. I don't even know if I posted it, to be honest. And initially, it's that burn. It's that like, fuck. But you have to literally go ahead.
Face it.
And like, the thing is too, is like, I was watching Gary Vee yesterday, and something that kind of resonated with me was like, he was like, if you don't love losing, you've already lost. And that got me thinking, like, in the context where I thought of it, like, once that burn sizzled out, I wanted to make more podcasts so much fucking better and harder. Like right after I messaged Philip, I was like, this is gonna be the best fucking podcast ever. And I made an oath to myself, like every podcast after this one is gonna be so fucking good. It's the same thing. It's just head on. If you know it's gonna make your dad uncomfortable, like then you know you have to do it.
100%.
Like, and you know, not even just do it, but hammer the motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do it. You know?
Yeah. And bigger than that, like not bigger than that, but like, when I'm 40 and listening back to this album or these songs, I really want it to be a timestamp of my life now. Like I don't, because I feel like some of the old songs are like, obviously it encapsulates my time, but not in the way that like I'll be able to look back and like feel that I was in that room again. That's my biggest thing too, is like another thing, like I really want to be listen back and feel that
Authenticity.
Yeah, it's authenticity. And that's another thing that I realized like in the last couple of months of like writing in more of a personal tone is like I should be able to write about anything. And if it's like how I really feel, it will come out right. If I'm afraid to write about it, it's because I'm afraid that I'm not saying it in the right way. You know what I mean? Like you should be able to write about anything. Kind of.
Why do you think people don't write about things, or why would you not want to write about things if you want to? You know, is it like fear of what other people are going to think? Is this good enough? Like, what do you think? Because I don't write songs. Like, I'm genuinely wondering this. Like, when you do write songs, what are common roadblocks that you know you're like, I've dealt with this before. I see this coming up, and then what do you do to just?
I think the most common roadblock is hurting other people. It's not so much myself. I'm pretty ruthless with like, I've called myself a fucking loser repeatedly in one song. Like I'm not, I think it's just the other people. And when that comes up, it's learning to, that's one thing that I've been like, if the last couple of months that I've been really thinking about a lot is communication and learning how to communicate what I'm trying to say. Because it's so much harder than you'd think. You think like you're saying the words and people should get it, but it's like that you're not explaining it exactly outright. Like Chris Rock said this. People come up to him and tell him that like I'm telling good jokes, but people aren't finding it funny. It's like it's not that your jokes are funny, it's that you're not setting it up right. And that's so facts. Like and so back to the song thing. If I'm writing a personal song about said person, if I can communicate how I feel right, then I shouldn't be afraid to say it because I've said how it comes out right.